Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to read from the mature content description of the Birth Me Code store page on Steam. And it reads, the developers describe the content like this. The game's story mentions topics such as drug use, sexual assault, and death. Nothing is shown, and there is no explicit content. I would argue, based on what's going to happen in this episode, that this description is somewhat misleading. To explain properly, this episode does contain, I'm not even going to go off and say that it contains mentions of, it contains attempted sexual assault. Nothing explicit happens, but the descriptions, the dialogue, and there's even a CG that, if you're sensitive to that topic, if you've been through something like that, I have no doubt it could be very triggering. If you've been through something of the sort. So, if you're concerned about that, I will provide timestamps on the screen for you to skip ahead, for you to be aware of when this part is coming up, and to be able to skip around it. Again, apologize that this came up like this, but it's just take care of yourselves first and foremost. Now, on to the episode. Welcome back to this strange room. Boxes. Oops, can't skip anything. Tubes. This room is an almost perfect replica of the previous room. Got the same kind of things around, like these tubes. 2 reactors. Maybe one's a fake and the other's real. Maybe they're both fakes. Still don't think this is a real reactor. I've seen this place before, and it's not here. Huh? Where'd you see it? Where my father worked at. They had this large red cross-like emblem affixed above the door. There were a bunch of gruff guys doing experiments. Red cross-like emblem. Took me there once on their yearly Bring Your Kid to Work day. Doesn't work there anymore, though. Been working there for a long time before that. I still don't know why he left. The pay was apparently really, really good. Difference of interests? Maybe a clash of morals. Science can sometimes be a little, maybe. Not that he'll know even if I asked him now. Cora had a bad feeling over it. She decided to change the subject, figuring that he was dead or something like that. Anybody who quits from something as shady as that probably ends up dead. Anyway then, this is a replica of the reactor there. Yeah. Only seen it through a window, but I remember it mesmerized me. Marked me, and I would know what this is even after another 20 years without seeing it. Things were in constant movement, though. Now they're not moving. The reactor is a lot less monstrous than my memories, but because it's a fake and thus not active. Give a light shove onto one of the strange metallic structures. Something broke from it and rolled away onto the ground. See? It's falling apart on its own. Wait, that's not part of the mechanism. Or reached for it, finding it was a coin. Maybe this is useful. Let's keep it with us. Who knows if we'll need it here? If we don't, then we're just a little richer. And risk losing your head. Wouldn't take anything out of these rooms unless they're from the safes that contain our me cards. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Turns out there's no tricking him into doing it and eliminating him that way, huh? Right? It is interesting, though. That means that this is definitely Trist's room. If the mansion cult chamber was Spia's room, the bar was Gula's room, since the answer to the question was Gula's real name, as the bomber. Still curious to hear how you would assign rooms to our other peeps. Compared to the other reactor, which was in a lamentable state, this one doesn't work. This one doesn't look broken at all. Doesn't need any repairs that I can tell. Yeah, it's a little too complex for me to mess with anyway. I think it's in our best interests if we left it alone. Oh, okay. In touch. Ankora walked around the reactor, examining it while holding an imaginary clipboard. Ankora, you have a real one in your inventory. Things in order here. Gee, it sure is difficult to science sometimes. I could use a coffee break. What are you doing? I'm imitating the life of a scientist. I have no clipboard, and I must take notes. It's a little more complicated than that, I think. Oh yeah? How do you know that? Are you a scientist? My father's a scientist. I don't even know what he's doing. It's a lot less glamorous than you're describing it, though. Paperwork aplenty, with a very little free time to know what to do with, or too much and getting bored. Sounds like the good life, still. I don't know about that. Work gets going, it's tough. I've seen him be absent from home for weeks at a time, only to come home babbling about incoherent stuff and God? Sounds a bit depressing. Yeah. It had nothing to do with this reactor. I still can't push any of these. They're too heavy for me. Justicia showed off again by shoving his hand against one and raising it, reining it back with a hard push. He rather enjoyed being able to show off due to the fact he was not comparatively strong when in the company of just about anyone else than a little girl. Oh, come on! Stop with that already, and let's move back to searching. Watch me flex, Cora. Let's go back. First let's chat. Find anything of note? I know you already said this was probably a fake reactor, but let's say it's not. What do you think it's used for? Why have this here? We're still in the school, right? Like, what is all this? If I knew, I'd tell you. All I can think of is probably not in the school we think we are. Everything so far has been set up to look like it, appearance only. We have classrooms, we have hallways, even the bathrooms look the same. These rooms are not always as we'd expect them to be. You do such a thing. It's not like anyone can just walk in and build this. Maybe it's the government. It's not. They have to be really rich or really determined. It has to be some kind of organization. What even would warrant putting this much effort into making all this? Killing us off one by one. I don't believe in madman who just likes to watch people die. Everyone has a reason for doing what they're doing. This. Paused, uncertain of how he wanted to word it. Perhaps he was even uncertain. Wanted to continue down that line of thought, too. Beginning to think that this Pandora, who led us before, my emptiness, isn't behind all this. Would warrant all this. First it was only to find out the traitor, but now, this room is definitely nothing I know. Something else is going on, and I'm also wondering about what could warrant all this. Did the traitor turn usurper? The more reason to find them. At this point, maybe it's preferable if they all died to make sure I've got the right one. We're only two, let's not waste too much time. My idea is, this room looks very high-tech and I don't know what to do here. Guess we have to mess with the high-tech stuff first. Which only makes me believe it's fake even more. Wouldn't let us mess with the reactor like that if it would meant this whole place could blow sky high. But first, making everything be functional, whatever that means for this room, might be in our best interest. There's some mechanisms scattered about that aren't really connected or working just yet. Beyond that, we have to figure out our true enemy. I have no idea how to start. And there's that 39 on the reactor, too. Number seems to be coming back a lot in this school so far. I don't think that's related, though. Might just be a cheeky reference. There's no way this place has 39 reactors, either. All in all, remember, if we're missing something, it's worth examining things multiple times. Especially in this room where things look complicated. Alright, that's fair for now. Back to work. This one doesn't have a number on it. To investigate. Left panel. With the tube we found in here, seems like it's just long enough to connect with the other output too, between the side panels of the reactor and its glass cylinder. Let's see what happens. For connecting the both of them together, the transparent cylinder drained itself of its acid. All of it was sucked out through the tube into the reactor's shell. The only thing left in the tube after another minute of wait was a weird part. Think it's safe to get it? Just let it leak out for a few and come back to it later. It's probably fine to take now. Waited a few, two of them disconnected the tube, and the strange piece of hardware came out, seemingly undamaged from the acid it was drowning inside prior. Think it really was acid? Probably not. Couldn't take any chances anyway. The two of them reconnected the tube with the cylinder. The acid was pumped back into it, or to revert it to its previous state. Then they pocketed the item and discarded the tube back to the other room, no longer having any use for it. Okay. Right panel? It's the thing we need to plug it in. Broken. What's your verdict? Fully functional, so I guess there's nothing to do with this now. Right? What do we have? We have a metal gear, piece of hardware, status stable, coin, 2 all over it, multiply all 3 numbers together. Using 15 of them. 2, 15, and 39? Maybe? We can examine. Oh wow, that gets us to 1170. So that might be the code. We reach this cable easily enough, but the box at the top is far too high. I guess we would need a ladder to reach it. Tissue did bite, no matter how much Encore willed him to. No one wants to talk about ladders. Let's just stop this entirely and focus. Too bad we don't have one. Maybe we have to climb up using the cable. Only a slight look at Tristitia, one could deduce he wouldn't be able to any use climbing a cable this small. Might even cause it to snap and render it unusable. I can try, but I'm not a good climber. Yeah, that's be a good one. Upon trying, Encore found it a lot easier than she might have assumed. All she had to do was use both her hands and legs to hold onto the cable, and before long, she had managed to bring herself up to the top. What's the box do? It's settings. I don't know what we should put them on. It's taking 4 numbers from 0 to 9, but I don't know the combination. Put them on whatever you want, I guess. Doubt this will do anything until the cable is plugged somewhere anyway. This should have to do with the numbers we found, no doubt. There you go. The answer was 1170. After putting in the 4 numbers, Encore came down from the box, sliding along the cable until she was back to the ground. The machine was now giving a low hum. Hey, wait a second. You weren't looking, were you? Looking at what? My pangs! Oh no. Don't have any interest in that. Not sure if you meant it that way or if it's a veiled insult. Probably a bit of both. Case of, are you really going there at a time like this? So now what? Right panel? Part goes here. Sticia was already in the process of repairing the panel inside of the reactor. In a few moments, he finished fixing the plate piece back inside, after which he used the coin they'd found to screw the panel itself back. Okay, that's what that was for. The small light lit up, as if confirming it was done correctly.
Wow, that was pretty good. Impressed.
Don't be. I just know a lot about computers because I spend a lot of time on one. You remember I have that website, right? Just one of many I own. I like to actually get up and do stuff, though. That's why a guy named Marco started giving me tutoring on engineering.
Marco! Ooh.
Came by my home often so I would get off my chair and do some menial work.
You want to exercise, then?
Yeah. Kinda tired of being the fat boy. I know what I try, though. Get slimmer.
The shaking of his head was full of sorrow and denial.
Anyway, bring me the cable over there.
This one.
That's right.
Connected the cable to the panel.
Knew they'd go together.
I mean, to be fair, you've done a lot of really wild, fairly athletic shit since we've been here. Chasing after people, struggling with people, various other things. So, who's to say you're really that? Surely the effort you put in paid dividends, even if it's not 100% showing. It has paid dividends. You are stronger, boy.
I know they'd go together. Look too suspicious. There's still a lot of slack, though. I can't make heads or tails of why. Maybe it's not important.
You are stronger than you gave yourself credit for, Trist. But just don't let that get to you.
But it's really stuck. Hard.
Tried taking it out to show. The panel wasn't having any of it. It's very well stuck there, since that was where it had to go. Something's happening. Time! The screen on the side of the reactor buzzed and changed its display. Now, instead of showing stable, it was showing time. The cable was also pushed out of its socket. No matter how much Trist tried, it wouldn't go back in. Well, what do you think that means?
I don't know. A small compartment opened on the side, too.
Reached inside, taking out a me card and a weird key with the letter T attached to it.
Here, take that key.
Lobbed it at her. Cora did her best to catch it, but it fell to the ground. Went over to take it, adding it to the rest of her stuff.
There are also two weird bowls in here. Guess I'll carry them. What are they used for?
Beats me. Does it mean we're done here? What's our answer? Don't we normally get some piece of paper to help us?
I think it's pretty obvious. What do you think about it then? Just come with me to the door.
I think you just don't know the answer.
Who knows?
Not him, apparently.
I mean... do with this now.
Nothing left. Oh, okay. Just kick me out. And we finger, I think. Time to give her answer at the door. Oh. Oh, we're going through this again. Okay, that conversation just loops. Indication says status time. It's changed from status stable from earlier. I wonder why that one word changed. There has to be a reason.
Should be obvious what it means, no? Need to say some kind of word to escape from this place, after all?
All the rooms, this is one of the easier ones. Answer doesn't really need any kind of overthinking. Yeah. Really doesn't. This one still says status stable. By that, Angkor pushed her hands against the surface. Look, my hands flatten against it and my skin turns white.
Because blood isn't going through your hands anymore.
Did much the same to show it to her with concrete proof. But your hands aren't changing.
Really? Because I know less than I like to boot. Guess I know less than I like to toot my own horn over. Maybe I'm just a little too fat. Hey.
You break it? That's a little destructive. One in this room doesn't seem to have any purpose whatsoever. According to those thoughts, Cora left the cylinder aside to search somewhere else. Alright, I think we're done here. No boards left in there. Aha! Maybe the code I put in wasn't the right one. Let's give it another go. What? Okay. And Cora climbed back up, hugging the cable with both thighs so she wouldn't slide down that easily. It took her a few moments of attempts before she realized the luck she had before had run out. Unceremoniously, she slid back down to the ground. Looked around, but Tristitia hadn't been here to witness her embarrassing display, at least. Doesn't matter anyway. The numbers rendered has nothing to do with that anymore. Okay, we got the achievement for exploring everything.
We are then. Ready to leave. Not that much time passed either. Definitely good.
Without the answer.
Still not know it?
No, I know it. I know it. There's a lot of double voices going on here, internalizing her thoughts and then saying her thoughts. Cora looked at her hands in slight contemplation. After a minute or so, Tristitia nudged her with an elbow.
Scared to say it?
Something like that. You know how we die if we get it wrong?
The answer is to...
No, stop, it's fine. I know the answer. Rose got her own pride to uphold. Let me out. Our true enemy is... you. Overthink. Okay, fine. You're not gonna be snarky. Time! Click, the lock came undone. Now they could leave this room. Cora looked at Tristitia, who returned the gaze, but soon he left with the bowls and the me card, having nothing else to do here. He was also quite eager to leave this place. And Cora also had enough of this reactor, so she stepped out, clutching the keys she'd found in here. It was now not just one, but 2 keys obtained. Key with the letter A and with the T acquired. Not looking good for me cards, though. Oh well, time to worry over that later. Oh, here we go. This is the part. And Cora and Tristitia waited in the hallway. The timer was reading 35 minutes past the hour, so the other groups were bound to emerge soon. 1 minute later, the door to the nearby classroom opened. Out came Luxuria first, and then Avaricia, who carried in her arms a shotgun.
Figured there was more than one firearm here.
This is going to be more akin to insurance than anything else. Insurance? For what? Don't worry, I don't intend to do anything with it unless we really need it. You're still the guy with 6 bullets.
5 now. Still enough to kill everyone still alive, even myself.
Ah, but would you do it?
The timer came to a close? Maybe. Better end it quickly than make it last out in agony, no? That's what you'd assume, but I don't know. Maybe not. I've been put in a situation where I had to make that choice.
Everyone's way too calm about these guns. They're guns! And Cora's outburst caught everyone's attention. They're firearms. They can kill us if you pull the trigger. Kill, you know? That's the end. You're dead. Why is everyone so calm around them? Maybe it's because the day has already been so hectic. Guns aren't so special compared to getting your head, you know, exploded. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Speaking of this situation, where's Viddy? Is he still not out? Timer read 40 past the hour. Soon he was going to run out of time. Hey Viddy! Hurry up! You're going to run out of time! The girl walked towards the bend in the hallway, yelling for Invidia to hurry it up. Not only did his survival depend on it, all of theirs depended on it too, as they needed the me card inside, and the key from that room as well. It's strange how our rooms only contained one me card, too. Justicia was showing off the one he got from the room he explored alongside Ancora. With the girl caught of their discussion, it seemed as though Avaricia and Luxuria also only found one of them.
Doesn't add up. All these rooms were only at 24 me cards. We need 15 more.
The group arrived at Vidia's door. Ancora watched the timer go up. 1 past the hour. 2 past the hour. 3 past the hour. 44, she banged onto the door with both fists. Hey! Diddy! Hurry! Rooms aren't really soundproof, so he should be hearing this. Unless he's in the second room. After another minute, Nvidia's voice came from inside the room. Sorry, I don't think I'm coming out. What? Are you stuck? We can help. Tell us what... No, I'm not stuck. I haven't solved anything in this room so far because I don't want to. What? That's right. I'm staying and dying here, and no one will be able to get the me card from this pair of rooms. That's my choice. You can't just abandon us to die. We're going to kill how many by doing this selfish act?
You'll die too. Doesn't make any sense.
Please, Vidi. Why does he want to die so badly like that? I made up my mind. Doesn't matter for me. I'm dead now. All of us are dead. We're going to save them. I need to die to break the pattern. What? You don't mean... Avaricia's tone changed. She was horrified by what he was implying. No, you can't do that. You can't die now. We need you. Sorry, I made up my mind already. I won't be a future pawn. What? For all I'm concerned, the future can go to hell. Timer read 48. In 1 minute, Nvidia was going to die. Well, there's no point now. Only 1 minute left. Didn't solve the room anyway. This won't change anything. You're damning all of us. And that was it. Vidia's last words hung heavily in the air as a clunk echoed from the inside of the room. It was most likely his head falling due to the helmet doing its thing. Well, that was that, I guess. Now we're stuck here. Without that me card, we can't stop the console from killing us all in 11 minutes. Well, damn. Let's go back to the crossroads or something, at least. And spend the last minutes there, sharing information. There's gotta be something to do. No one answered Ancora, though. As she looked at them, she noticed they all had their shoulders slumped. None of them seemed in any mood to talk or even move. That's why Ancora pulled onto Avaricia's arm, but the woman only grabbed the shotgun she had and pointed it straight at the smaller girl. We're all going to die now. Doesn't matter what we do. In fact, you know what? The bomb inside of that console explodes. It's going to disintegrate all traces of this place. Everything we did will become a secret. Mood still stood still as those words were spoken. Cora shook her head, denying what Avaricia was saying. No way, we might still have a chance. To get out of here. Think of your relatives. There's gotta be someone. If someone and they're precious to me. Yeah, I had someone. Her tone made it clear she didn't want to talk about it. The question was, when did she no longer have that someone? Was it just now? Eh? Was it earlier this day? Was it months ago?
It's better than doing nothing anyway. Let's go, group.
And Cora took the lead, waving the others over to come with her. There was still stuff they could try. Better to die trying than going out like a flame in the wind.
If we can just pause for a moment, I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind you of, at the start of the video, the scene that I warned you about, which contains sexual assault, is coming up momentarily. I will again put the timestamps on the screen for you at this time. If the subject is a trigger for you, or if the topic just disturbs you in any way, feel free to skip this scene. I will not blame you. I wish I could have skipped this scene myself. Be safe, and take care.
But that noise made her abandon all hope. She froze in her tracks, just like everyone else. Before anyone had the time to move, an explosion came from the group. Neither one of them had lost their life. Normally, Ancora would have screamed, but the suddenness of the event left her completely stunned. Fudge nuggets! Can things not go badly for 5 seconds? The blast had also helped in stunning the girl, as she'd been sent down to the ground. It took a few seconds for her to rise back up, looking at what exactly happened. Lucia's body was lying on the ground like a disarticulated marionette. Oh shit! His head was gone, and from the neck, red split out. Clear, red liquid covered the surface of the floor. It was blood. His head was gone. The one who held his gun was Luxuria! And she took it from him, before she stuffed her hand into her hoodie's pocket. It was dangerous. Now we have 6 deaths, right? With 3 left. Avrisha didn't seem to care about shooting her for doing it. Yeah, I suppose so. Guess I won't need my insurance anymore now. Hesitated, about to discard the shotgun she had. It's not like it mattered anymore, since all dangers were gone. In the end, she chose to keep it, dropping it to her side and carrying it with one hand. And now we can... Cora saw all of it happen, but she was too surprised to say anything. Luxuria moved forward and aimed the revolver against Avarisha's back. Oh fuck! Jesus, what? By the time the woman could register what was really happening, the girl already pulled the trigger again at point-blank range. Pretty much immediately after, Avarisha collapsed, leaving only Ancora and Luxuria on their 2 feet. Ah, we're going to die, aren't we? But it doesn't matter if I have my fun. What? 2 more shots came out, making Ancora scream in pain this time. 2 bullets were lodged into her leg, making it shudder and shift under her weight until she fell down to a knee. Oh boy! Lux, what are you? Oh, stop calling me Lux already. I'm Nico. Nico Hope, that's my full name. Same instant Ancora's body hit the ground as the pain became unbearable. Well, this is clearly bad. Can't do anything about it, though. Nico stepped onto Avarisha's fingers to make her release the shotgun before firing again, this time into her hand, causing her to shriek out in pain. Nico with the revolver kicked the roller firearm away. Really sorry, Ava. I truly like you because you're not like everyone else, but I can't have you interrupt this. It's all about Cora and what she did. You're just like all the others, aren't you, Cora? What do you mean? Like everyone else, you're always mistaken. Gee, how much of an idiot do you have to be to not get it yet? The small girl walked forward, finding the discernible uncertainty emanating from Ancora rather infuriating. The blonde girl was puzzled over Nico's choice of words. Something didn't add up. Simple, Cora. I'm not a girl. Oh. I'm a boy, idiot. What, you didn't notice it? It's like everyone else. But Ava knows already, though. Cora. Can't move. Watch out. Of course you can't. I shot you right in the spinal cord. Oh, Jesus. Your legs are now worthless. Not that it'll matter because we're all going to die in this 10 minutes anyway. Nico grabbed Ancora's helmet and shoved her back onto the ground, causing her to emit a loud groan of pure pain. When she felt Nico grab her arm and pull her along the floor, she kicked with her uninjured leg to fend off her aggressor. Oh! Another gunshot sliced through the air, and at that very moment, pain crushed Ancora's poor head. The bullet had gone straight through her hand, fired by Nico to force Ancora to calm down. While the blonde stopped her struggling, she didn't stop shouting. Ah! Help! Ava! I can't do anything. Nico dragged Ancora into his side classroom and closed the door. Crud, he must have cracked under the pressure. Everyone mistakes him for... Gee, I guess that plays into his sin a little. Even though it means it would just be the opposite way, since mainly guys would try to... Whoa there. Took me for a girl from the beginning just because I looked cute. But I thought you had me figured out earlier, when we were walking towards the voting machines. You saw me staring right at you. Then it didn't change anyway. You still treated me this way. Though you looked like you knew. Boys can be cute too. Oh. I don't like this. Nico Hope. The word hope etched itself into her memory, scarring her already. Yeah, she had an affair with the student. Do you believe that? Oh, with me? Oh. Oh my. She's a pedophile. That's pretty disgusting, huh? She was the only one who saw me for what I really was. So who was I to judge? He fooled even me, but it was kind of hard to imagine him otherwise. He didn't have a feminine voice and appearance. It's actually terrible, though. I can't do anything to stop it. Scared. Oh, God. I don't like this. Loud vibrating noise, he slammed his fist in against the side of Ancora's helmet. Within the next moments, everything piling up caught up to her. Pain, noise, dizziness. Something else. Ancora didn't catch it too well. Like a muffled gunshot, and then there was darkness. Cora means anchor, figuratively. Hope. Being tortured, Ancora. Yes, by someone I trusted before. By Hope? How does it feel to be betrayed? Not so good at all. In fact, it's the worst. That's why you have to end all of this. Catching the traitor? You just have to hope you can do it. Hope I can do it. Ancora like Hope. Hope. Like Nico Hope. Nico Hope. Hope. Anchor. Cora. What? But Cora woke up. Cora, you okay? Voice was calling to her. Cora breathed hard, breathed fast. Breathed, panted, shuddered, shifted, and pulled herself back onto the ground. Classroom not too far away was Nico. He was on the ground, too. His head was gone, much like the others before him. It's my fault. I should have seen this coming. And Cora's hands patted herself, looking upon her body. She could make sure she felt nothing gross. But nothing. Just the slight lingering heat from luxurious sitting on her. Torture hadn't happened. What she hoped for was true. Hope? Hope. 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 Hope? You okay? It might take a while to get back from it. Fortunately, we don't have that time. No time. No killing. Not anyone. This is my fault. It's all my fault. If only I'd done something. If only I'd stopped her. If only I'd stopped her way before this. And Cora, it's okay. You don't have to worry about him. Dead now. Oh, not dead. Not now, not dead. Please. Not her. Superbia. And Cora didn't say anything else. If she didn't let Superbia die, then none of this would have happened. That's the her in this case. And Cora didn't say anything else. She was still under shock that someone would do this to her. It's one thing to participate in this already traumatic experience, but this was something else. It was too personal. One of the girls she trusted the most. But, two, no, it wasn't a girl, it was a boy. Girl who dressed up cute, different than she expected. Snapped to make her pay. Whatever it certainly had worked. Looking at the timer, Cora despaired. 3 minutes remained until her demise. That fact grabbed her to pull her back into reality. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You have to do something. There's nothing to do. All we have to do now is sit tight and wait. Cora noticed Averisha wasn't standing up. The older woman was still on the ground. At first she planned to do something, but now she saw no reason to. Besides, she was right. There was nothing else to do now. Is that the end of this path, then? This path I've chosen. Just dying with nothing else. There's gotta be something else. After all that trauma. So you really can't. But how did you get in here? I pulled myself across the ground while he was dragging you in here, trying my best to reach this door. He closed it. I thought it was over. Can't reach the handle from the ground. I also took the shotgun with me. I'd kill this little piece of shit if it was the last thing I did. 'Cause I did want to save you. So I used the shotgun to lift myself up to the handle. After a minute or so, I heard him slam your head down, but I assumed that was. That's when I launched myself to the handle to twist it and open the door. The door flew open under my weight. He noticed me, stood up, and he was about to kick the shotgun away when I blasted him almost point blank. I think I got his helmet since he was beheaded right afterwards. And I just waited. Came back to reality a minute ago. Speaking of, time's almost up. Yeah, almost is. Only 2 minutes remain now, after all that. If there's anything else, now was the time to ask. And Cora decided to go for the obvious. What's your name, then? My name? Oh, I guess I can say now, it won't matter. My name's Icofilm. What? What do I do with this information? Teen Icofilm. IcoPro. Supplements. And Cora thought about it, since Teen Icofilm wasn't the name of any teacher she knew. Something was wrong with that name, but she couldn't put her finger on what. That's so. It's a really strange name. Never heard of the Icofilm family before. You want to spend your last minute making fun of my name? You want to give me your name too? Oh, sorry. Guess I can return the favor. My name's Penmill. My first name. Penmill? Something flashed inside Ancora's head, interrupting her words. Something like a set of directives. Justicia directives acquired. And that was it. A single sentence flashed through her head. attributed it to last moment insanity, while Athene said something she only caught the last part of. Henmil. That's your last name, isn't it? Only ever seen two names like that. Ah! A short pause followed. Timer hit 6 hours, and now we're all dead again. Darkness followed. There was nothing. Well, that was certainly a thing that happened. That was certainly a thing that happened. That was certainly a thing that happened. It sure was. It sure was. I am glad that that ended before anything truly awful happened. Should get help. Character. That's concerning. Interesting. Atomic number of yttrium. Why? Help. I can see why those were the scenes that were emergency implications of that reveal. I can see where that might have gone in its original state. I'm just going to set up the next route while I'm thinking about this. While I'm deciding how much I want to actually say about it. Technically, we should be trusting Trist. Yep, we have unlocked the Trist route. Walk with Trist. Why not? We'll give some Superbia trust. Right. I guess all I'll say about those events are this. I still don't know if I actually want to say anything about that. I still don't know if I want to say anything about that.
in terms of the implication that Lux has actually been a boy this whole time, and just the clothing and his voice causing him to present as a girl. In this enclosed environment, I could see it, maybe, when our voices are distorted, wearing fucking giant helmets and shit, and we don't remember anyone. In this environment, I can see it, but the fact that he says that it's still the case outside is concerning. It's concerning. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's clearly a motivation for his character, given the stuff spying on them here, how he was talking to Gula, and also the relationship he apparently had with Ava. That's... and everything else that happened after that, which I don't really want to think about, because that... that is... well... yeah, it's the fact that apparently that the mistaking was still happening IRL. That's... God, on one hand I can see why that being presented as a motivation for his character. On the other hand, does not present the greatest image of gender identity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It does this killing me, 'cause it's rubbing me the wrong way. And at the same, I guess I feel like the way to really fix it would be they all see me like a small child. And not the whole, they all see me like a little girl. Like a small child, and they talk to me, talk down to me, and let me get away with shit because I'm a cute kid. And I'm actually really conniving and predatory. I think that's the conclusion I'm drawing here as far as fixing that. Fixing the uncomfortable perception of Lux's character, IRL. There is still, obviously, the matter of Ava's relationship with Lux, which also has really
icky implications, but that's... I mean, those things have happened in the news. That's... I was gonna say, it fixes the uncomfortable implications of the... God, it's... still a little... Stop popping shit up. It's still a little... It's still concerning. The just blanket perception in-game about it, but I can see why people would think that. I know I said the fix to Nico outside of this death game is just have everyone see him as a little kid. I feel like you could have done the same in-game too, gotten away with it, and just remove the whole gender aspect of his character completely. He gets away with all this stuff because everyone perceives him as a small kid, younger than he really is. Cute small kid who they let get away with stuff because he's cute. I feel like you could keep that part in there without getting into any of the actually I'm a boy reveal. What did that really change when Lux dropped that on us in the final route as he was killing the fuck out of us? What did that really change in the end? Aside from the reveal that, obviously, Lux was kind of twisted his own way, left alone with... Yeah. The reveal didn't really change anything. That's where this keeps getting me. Is it... The more I think about this, the more I think that you could just take the whole gender aspect out of it completely. If you have it presenting as Lux seems younger than everyone else dramatically, but the reveal is just Lux is in fucking senior in high school. Really. He actually just wants to be treated like a man and not a boy. And everything else still works out. His involvement in Ava's backstory still works out. His involvement with Gula still works out, because that's just... she feels icky about a boy coming onto her. And... that part of Lux's story didn't really need to be in this story. You could keep his character exactly the same without involving the gender aspect of it. I'm admittedly morbidly curious to know what that scene looked like before it was it had an emergency edit done on it, addressing the obvious concerns. Which, if I had to speculate, my big fear is that originally Lux was presented more as trans. That's definitely bad. That's definitely bad. Edits don't really paint that great a picture of it in the same vein. Like it kept the gender twist, but removed everything else that you could explicitly peg as trans. But it's still bad. It's still, the whole actually I'm a boy, I feel it didn't need to be. That's my thoughts. That's my idea of how you fix this from the start. Just Lux is a small child. Lux presents as a small boy, small child, younger than the rest of the crew. But the truth is, Lux is actually in high school. The rest of us. So everything else fits in with that. That removes the very troubling aspect of these scenes. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am curious. At any rate, next video we will be hacking Trist. Seeing what comes of that. Assuming, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that this is the true path. Need to get the deductions right to get to the true path and the final deduction room. We still need to unlock more directives to get there. And I had to do this, had to suck it up and do these to get our next directive, which should... Just gonna jump in. Make sure my trust is set properly. Yep. So hacking Trist should get us up to max, and then we could get to vote Trist out. And we move along. So, I'll leave this here. When we come back, we'll be ready to hack. Until then,